Hi, I'm Rocky Lhotka. I'm the VP of Strategy at Zebia, and I'm also the Chief Software Architect at Merrimer LLC. I've been in the industry for quite a long time. I've written a number of books, speak at conferences, including VSLive all over the world, and really enjoy the technology and enjoy sharing, thoughts that I've got and finding out thoughts that other people have. VSLive is an amazing event for our attendees, and as a speaker, I really enjoy being there and interacting with folks. I think that from a community perspective, it's a great way for people to get together and meet their colleagues, talk to speakers, really, share information bidirectionally. It's also a fantastic opportunity to keep up to date on what's going on because there's this whole AI thing, and that is amazing and hard to keep up with. And at the same time, just because there's this AI thing doesn't mean that we aren't also working with data and using the web or Windows technologies and all these other things that don't stop. This is an interesting thing. There's a balance, right? We've got a reasonable amount of content about AI and agentic AI and large language models and how to take your AI and have it interact with data, with your data. And at the same time, we're balancing that against things like Blazor with WebAssembly and various cloud and Fabric, Microsoft Fabric technologies, all of which I don't know if you count them as emerging, but these are technologies that are changing rapidly and are often making our lives a lot better if we know how to use them. I don't think so. The AI rooms continue to be quite well. They fill up. I don't know if I'd call it burnout, but there's definitely a tension between, man, there's this AI stuff, and at the same time, it doesn't feel at all connected to my day job. At VS Live, we have this fantastic combination of folks from Microsoft, from the product groups that are talking about how they build the products and how they envision people using them. And we also have speakers that are coming at this from with years of experience actually using Microsoft technologies to build real applications for people in the field. As a conference organizer, one of our jobs is to balance this and say, well, we need some introductory, especially with newer technologies, and at the same time, we need a level of 300 and 400 type content to really dive into certain things. And so we've got some really nice intro content around AI and around Fabric, and then we've got some other content that spans the range from, well, you've never seen Blazor, all the way to let's build some advanced components and see how you really put things together, and that's true across all the technologies that we're covering. So I think if you're just coming into the Microsoft space or just coming into some of these technologies, will get you ramped up pretty fast. And if you're already in this space, you've got this opportunity to interact with and listen to people that have been using these technologies to build wonderful applications throughout their careers. What I have been focused on, and as a recurring theme, is AI. So Brian Randall has a session on agentic AI that I expect to go to. And Ben Day has got a talk that I can't miss because I can't stand YAML. And the title of his talk is that he loves YAML. And so I just want to, and he's a great speaker. So I absolutely need to go find out how anyone can portray that they love YAML. with a workshop, which is lecture, um, you're going to get 8 hours of fantastic training. And with a hands-on lab, you're not going to get as much because there's time for the labs, but you're going to get to really experience what it's like to work with Python and AI or some of the other things that we're covering. And you might come away with knowledge at a depth that you're just surprised at, and stuff you can take home and go, wow, I can use this, on Monday when I get back to work. Monday evening, there's the dine around, so an opportunity to just go have some hors d'oeuvres and maybe some beverages and hang out with quite a number of speakers and also fellow attendees in an informal setting. I love that. I really enjoy going to that. There's also a lunch on Wednesday where every table has a topic. Some of the tables are assigned to speakers. And so if you have a specific speaker that you want to talk to and have a conversation with, that's a great opportunity. If that's not what you're looking for, you can pick a table that has just a general topic like cloud computing or Microsoft Fabric or something like that. And odds are that other people sitting at the table are interested in the same thing. So it's a great way for you to interact with your fellow attendees. And you really shouldn't dismiss that because the interacting with the speakers obviously I think is great, but there's an opportunity here to interact with fellow practitioners just like you that are struggling maybe with the same things, or maybe have solved the problem you're struggling with, and they're struggling with the problem you've solved. And so that cross-pollination is absolutely a key point that I think drives the value of in-person conferences. The big thing is you got to view this as a fire hose. By the end of the week, plan to be tired, and do enjoy yourself. By all means, right? There's evening events to go out and explore San Diego, and of course the event itself is at a resort, which is lovely, and but you got to pace yourself, right? Especially if you're there for the entire time with the hands-on labs and the workshops. Make sure you get plenty of sleep and drink lots of water. Every time we put together one of these agendas, it's like, what is new, or didn't we talk about that last year? And sometimes the answer is, oh yeah, we need to completely replace that. But more often, what's happening is that yes, we talked about this last year. We need to talk about it now because there's a whole new version and everything is better than it was a year ago. And it's important to share that with folks. And then we look at what people attend. We look at past data collected from VSLive events, and we say, well, this room filled up with this topic. Obviously, this is a trendy topic that we need to focus on, and we need to make sure our speakers are coming up with the freshest content that focuses on the things that people really want to hear about. Another piece of the puzzle, and then this might surprise some folks, but like in the early days of Azure, we would consistently have Azure content, and the rooms would have 1, 2, maybe 5 people in them. And but we knew that Azure was going to become a big deal. And so we continued, and thankfully we had speakers that were willing to do this. And then all of a sudden it was like flipping a switch, right? And you go from these nearly empty rooms to overflowing into the hallways. And the advantage there is that you've got speakers that have this content they've been talking about. They've been practicing and using the technology in ways that most people coming new to it had never even thought of. And so we try to do that all the time with the technologies that we're dealing with. We're not a marketing conference. We're not like Ignite or something like one of the really big events where you're going to hear what the vendor, in our case, probably Microsoft, but you're going to hear what the vendor wants you to think, right? Or the way that they want you to view their technologies. And we do bring Microsoft people in, and Microsoft is a major partner with VSLive. But we get the people that are building the product, and then merge that with our industry leading speakers, folks that are out there professionally using the technologies, working either in their own company or as consultants or as trainers to use the technologies in the real world. And so you've got this, I think, beautiful blend between the vendor, Microsoft, saying, "Hey, this is how we envision you using it," and real world practitioners going, "Yeah, that's a great vision. We hope to get there someday, but here's the reality on the ground." And I think that it's hard to find another event that provides that same kind of blend.